We're now on to task 3, activity 2 of the money management unit, and this is all about pensions. Okay, so pension being a pot of money that you pay into during your entire working life, and your employer usually would pay into that as well. And there's various different types of pensions and different payment methods you can use for your pension, and that would be your pension. So that would be your private pension that you have accumulated yourself through work, but also everybody, just for being part of, just for being a UK citizen, does get what's called a state pension as well. Okay, and that is an amount of money that you would get from the government. Okay, it's not very much, but you accumulate both what you have accumulated in your private pension, and you also get your state pension, and you add these all together, and that is your earnings, if you like, after you retire. Okay, so we're going to have a wee look at how this kind of works and link it to life expectancy and how that's changed over the years. So this table that's in front of us shows the average life expectancy in years for males and for females going back to 1950s. Okay, so you can see from the table, we touched on this in the last activity on life insurance, that there is quite a big difference in life expectancy for males and females. So if you look through the years, you can see that there is, a difference of about 4 years there, difference of about 6 years, difference of about 6 years again, quite a sizable difference, more than 5 years in most cases, that the average female should expect to live over the average male. Okay, so what we're going to look at, and you are going to have to take a wee moment or two to draw this table out, because we are going to fill in the right hand side of the table, which we're going to work out the number of years that you would retire. Okay, and based on your life expectancy. So we'll read this first. So it says, from 1940, the age at which a man was entitled to a state pension was 65 years old. And for women, she was entitled to state pension at 60 years old. From 2010, the age women were entitled to a pension began to slowly rise, and it will eventually equalise with men at 65 by December 2018, so that has already happened. From January 2019, the state pension age for men and women this was obviously written before that, but it has gradually risen, and currently it is at 66 years by October 2020. Okay, so what that means is basically that is the age that you can then start to receive your state pension. Now, we've just mentioned there are two different types of pension, so you may have a private pension as well. You can take that out whenever you want, but you will not get your state pension until you exceed this state pension age. So it's 66 years. I think it might even be going up to 67 soon. Okay, so what we have to do is, using the old retirement ages of 65 for men and 60 for women, so as it was from 1940 until 2010, calculate the number of years the average male and female would claim their pension in each of the years listed. So basically, how many years would they claim a pension until they die? Basically, is what we're doing here. So trying to get an idea of, economics in this terms of how much the government is paying out in pensions and how that's changed over the years. Okay, so what you need to do just now is take a couple of minutes to copy out this table as neatly as you can into your jotter, with the headings at the top and the years down the side, with the male life expectancy, the female life expectancy, and the years retired for average and female. Okay, so pause the video just now, and can you take a wee moment to copy that table in just now? Okay, so hopefully you have that table copied in. So what we need to do here is we need to basically work out the difference between when you would get your state pension and how long you would expect to live throughout each year. So we'll just need to write the state pension age. We'll write it here just so it's nice and clear. So for men, you get it at 65, and for women we're taking it as 60. So we basically need to work out what is the difference. How much longer would you live past your state pension age? Okay, so a bit of a calculation to do in each case here. So for the first one, we're working out the difference between 64.4 and 65. Now, actually, funnily enough, in 1950, you wouldn't even be expected to live, if you're a male, past your state pension age. So theoretically, that means you are literally working until you die. That was the situation in 1950. So actually, if you do 65, if you do 64.4 take away 65, that's going to give you a negative answer. So it's actually negative 0.6 years. Okay, so we're doing all of these life expectancies take away the state pension age. So I'll write that aside. It's life expectancy take away state pension age. That's kind of the calculation we're doing here. So for the females though, they could get the state pension at 60 and they were expected to live until 68.7. So it's 68.7 take away 60, and that is going to be positive 8.7 years. So it was expected that an average female in 1950 would basically claim pension for 8.7 years. Okay, we'll do the next one as well. So for the males in 1960, the life expectancy had increased slightly. So we do 66.2 take away 65. So that is going to be 1.2. So we're now into the positive years for receiving pension after you stop working until the average male dies. Then it's going to be 72 take away 60. So that's at 12 years in total. So for all of these, you take the life expectancy age and you take away the state pension age. Okay, so I'm going to pause it here and I want you to finish off this table. So pause the video, finish off the table, and then I'll get the results back up in a minute. Okay, so I have filled in the rest of the table. Hopefully you have the same numbers here. So you can see for the males, 1.2, then 2.3 years, then 4.1 years, and 6.4 years, all the way up to 11.5 years. And for the females, it's even longer. Okay, so it's in 2010 to 12, the average female was receiving their pension for over 20 years before they were expected to pass away. Okay, so the reason we're doing this is to kind of highlight how that would be a problem. Back in 1940, when these retirement ages were established, people weren't living nearly as long as they are now, so the government wasn't having to pay out nearly as much in state pension. But you can see that there are a lot more people getting to state pension age and they're living a lot longer after state pension age. So basically it's causing a problem in that there's a huge, we have a aging population, which means there's a lot of older people. The population is getting older on average, and what that means is basically there's a lot more retired people who are claiming pensions, which means the government are having to pay out more money in pensions. Where do they get that money? Well, they get it from taxing the working people. So essentially the working people, through paying taxes and through everything else, all sorts of taxes, are paying for the pensions of the increasingly aging population. So it's becoming a bit of an issue, really. So question number 2 is kind of thinking about this here, is comment what effect the rising life expectancy will have on state pensions. So we've kind of discussed some of that there. What you should explore is what would the overall state cost of state pensions be to the government if the life expectancy rises, and then what actions do you think the state, i.e. the government, could take to reduce the financial burden of pension payments. So what I want you to do is a little bit of your own research now. Come up with 2 comments, one about the overall cost of state pensions and one on what action could the state take to reduce the financial burden of pension payments. Okay, I'm going to finish the video here. I want you to have 2 comments written down for that, and then we will discuss them in a call.